Hi, fourth grade. It's Mrs. Schaefer. Today we're going to be reading chapter 8 of Shiloh, and as promised, we will be building our fort. So I wanted to show you my fort before we begin reading. Anna is really excited that I build this fort. We've been building a lot of forts during quarantine. So here's my fort. I used part of my couch, and I used one of my kitchen chairs. Oh, there's some evidence of Easter under the fort so far. I used some chip clips to keep the blanket together. And there is where you can go in. That's a lamp. Now my lamp is off so that for safety reasons. And then I'm going to come down and show you the inside. So here's the inside of my fort. And you can go this way as well. So go ahead and grab your Shiloh book and your vocab worksheet, and let's begin reading together in our forts. It took me a while to get into my tent with my big belly right here, and Anna is super excited, so it took a while for us to get started. But I have my Shiloh book with me in my fort, open to chapter 8. I have my vocab page ready to go. And I wanted to talk with you a little bit about what happened in chapter 7 before we begin reading. So in chapter 7, we had Marty that went to David's house, and we answered some of our comprehension questions. We were able to answer number 1 of what David's pet was. We were also able to answer the little extra of Marty says, a lie don't seem a lie anymore when it's meant to save a dog. What does he mean by this? We talked a lot about lying already, so how can we apply that to this question? Now, something happened with Mr. Wallace at his store between him and Marty, and now we're going to find out how that connects to this question of why do people start leaving food in their mailboxes. So we're going to be able to answer the short answer today of number 3, and we should be able to answer number 2 that says at the end of chapter 8, who catches Marty with Shiloh? So we ended the chapter with Marty's sister that is afraid of snakes finding Marty on the hill, but Shiloh, being a smart dog, doesn't make a noise. But Marty has all of that food from Mr. Wallace's store to find a way to feed Shiloh. Let's begin reading chapter 8. Chapter 8. Next 2 days go by smooth as buttermilk. Shiloh gets biscuits or toast and a couple bites of ham for breakfast. And then in the evening, I fix him up some frankfurters, cut up and mixed with sour cream and little chunks of cheese. He don't much like the cheese. It sticks to his teeth, and he turns his head sideways when he chews, trying to get it off. Licks his chops afterward, though. He throws up the first time he eats the stuff. Too rich for his belly, I guess. But after that, he manages to keep it down. And all the while, he's fattening out a little. Each day, it's harder to see his ribs. I know my secret can't go on forever, though. Only had the dog for 6 days. And that evening, I find out that Judd Travers wants to hunt on our land, up the hill and over in the far woods. Thinks maybe he could find himself some quail over there, he says. When Dad tells us that piece of news at dinner, my whole body goes cold. I want to jump up and scream, no! But I just grip my chair and wait it out. Ray, I don't like that idea at all, Ma says. You never asked to hunt on his land, and I don't want him hunting on ours. If we let him, we've got to let anyone else who asks. And one of those shots could find its way down here. I'll tell him no, Dad says. Don't like the idea of it myself. I'll tell him the kids play up there. I stopped gripping the chair, but my heart still goes on thumping hard. I'm thinking how maybe Judd Travers has hold of the idea that I got his dog hid up there, and he's looking for an excuse to snoop around. Having Shiloh a secret is like a bomb waiting to go off. Next day, Dad comes home with more news. Good news to him, bad news to me. Can't figure it out, he says, walking through the door with a sack in his hands. Folks are taking to leaving me food in their mailboxes, Lou. Oh, here's maybe the answer to that question. Used to be it was just Mrs. Ellison and her banana bread, but found me a ham sandwich today in Nora Klingle's box and half a baked pie in the Sounders. I look thin to you or something. I'm laughing because Sarah just woke up from her nap and found our fort. Just let her in. Here, you want to say hi? Come say hi. Oh, she's waving, but she can't see the screen. I'm going to continue reading. I'm going to see how this goes.
I'm making a tent.
We made a tent. Yeah.
You to help me with this.
Sarah took my glasses. Ma laughs. Maybe it's just you're the best mail carrier they ever had on the route. Well, we got half a pie for dessert tonight. Anyways, Dad says. Oh, brother, I say to myself, maybe Mr. Wallace is doing more talking than I figured. He wouldn't come right out and tell folks I was in his store buying cheap food, but he might just pass it along that the Preston family's in hard times, and suddenly food starts appearing. That's the way it is here. The next day, Ma rides into town with Dad, taking the girls along, and goes shopping for new sneakers for Darlin and socks and underpants for Becky. First time I have the whole place to myself and I let Shiloh run pure free. Bring him down the hill to the house, feed him the heels off a loaf of new bread, all the leftover sausage from breakfast, and a bowl of milk. Then I let him lick the oatmeal pan. Show him every one of our 4 rooms, hold him in my lap on the porch swing, and laugh when he tries to stand up on the seat himself while the swing's moving. I let him smell the couch where I sleep and crawl under the front steps to sniff out the mole lives under there. Follow him all over creation when he takes out after a rabbit. Then he gives up when he sees I'm not going to shoot that rabbit, no way. But I figure my luck's going to run out if I don't get him back to his pen soon. So about noon, I take him back and he goes right to the gunny sacks in the lean-to. He's so tuckered out. It's just in time because when I get back and get the dishes done for Ma, the house picked up some. I look out and here she comes up the lane and Darlin and Becky and their packages. Somebody gave them a lift. You can always count on that around Friendly. Ma's pleased I got the dishes done, I can tell.
Mommy.
Nice to come back to a clean house, Marty, she tells me. Had good luck with my shopping, too. Wasn't a thing I bought that wasn't on sale. Darlin's wore her new sneakers home and got a blister already, and she don't care. She's so glad to have something new. When I walk in the kitchen next, Ma's looking at her face in the mirror over the sink. Got her eyebrows raised high, then she pushes them low, then raises them again. When she sees me studying her, she says, Marty, I got frown lines on my face. Tell me the truth now. I look at her good. Sure don't see any, I say. I don't neither. Ma's got a pretty face, plain but smooth. Well, I don't either, but 2 people this morning asked me how I was feeling, and one of them wants to tell me what to take for headaches. I figure that if folks think I have headaches, I must be doing a lot of frowning.
Good frowning.
Whomp, whomp, whomp. That's my heart. Folks think they got a remedy for something. They'll tell it to you whether you need it or not. I say, what's the vocab word? Remedy. The definition for remedy is a medicine or treatment for a disease or injury, or in this case, Ma's headache. Do you remember where that came from? Who said it, and who said it to who? Sounds so grown up, I hardly recognize myself. So scared inside, though, my stomach's shaking. Ma's taking out all the things she's bought and putting them on the table, taking the price tags off Becky's underpants and socks. I saw David's mother at the dollar store, she says, and they've got relatives coming in tonight. She wanted to know if she could bring David up here tomorrow when the rest of them go to Parkersburg. I told her yes. Okay, I say, but all the while I'm thinking what I'm going to do with David to keep him off that hill. Take him up toward the old Shiloh schoolhouse maybe and walk along the river. Funny thing is, you've got yourself a dog. You sometimes feel like you don't need anyone else. Used to be I'd be waiting at the window for David Howard to come up here for a visit. Nobody else loves you as much as a dog, except your mom maybe. That night, Mom makes us fried chicken for supper. First time in a long while, I put away a wing and a thigh on a saucer to eat later. I tell Ma, and add a spoonful of squash, which might be good for Shiloh's insides. He eats anything. The frankfurters and cheese and sour cream is all gone, so I gotta be watching for table scraps again and go out can collecting soon. Dad's working on the pickup after dinner, changing the oil. Becky and Darlin's turning somersaults in the grass, and Ma's cleaning the kitchen. Soon as her back is turned, I sneak the food off the saucer and head up the hill to see Shiloh. I can tell Shiloh likes the fried chicken better than he liked the sour cream frankfurter mess he'd been eating all week. Even eats the squash, and then he licks my hands and fingers to get all the salt off. Any place I touched a piece of chicken. Since I'd already taken him all over creation that morning, I don't feel he'll miss much if I don't take him out again. So I go around scooping up all the dog do, like I do every day, toss it over the fence, and then I lie down on my back in the grass and cover my face with my arms, our favorite game. Shiloh goes nuts trying to uncover my face, nudging at my arms with his nose, tail going 90 miles an hour. Never whines like some dogs do, though. Even when we're out in the far meadow, racing the wind, he'll start to bark and I'll say, "Shh, Shiloh," and he stops right off. Wish I could let him make a little noise. It's not natural. I know to keep an animal so quiet, but he's happy quiet, not scared quiet. I know that much. I move my arms off my face after a while and let him rest his paws on my chest. And I'm lying there petting his head, and he's got this happy dog smile on his face. The breeze is blowing cool air in from the west, and I figure I'm about as happy right then as you can get in your whole life. And then I hear someone say, "Marty?" I look up, and there's Ma. Oh no. That answers our question of number 2 at the end of chapter 8. Who catches Marty with Shiloh? That is the end of chapter 8. The next time we read, we will read chapter 9. So far in your comprehension questions, you should be able to answer questions number 1, 2, 3, and the little extra. So in chapter 9, we should be able to answer the long answer. So the short answer, remember, why do people start leaving food in their mailboxes? So think back into chapter 7 of why people are doing that. And think about what happened to Marty's dad. Think about what's happening to Marty's mom. All because of lying. All right, 4th grade. I would love to see pictures of your forts. So go ahead and put those in the Google Classroom. and I look forward to reading chapter 9 with you. I'm not sure if I'm going to do a fort again because I have some that are really excited about it. And I don't know if you liked having the girls with a little bit of a distraction while we read. Oh no, sorry, Anna bumped the chair. I don't know if you liked it or not. Let me know in the comments.
I got it.
And Sarah's trying to fix it. Now, I look forward to reading with you again. Bye, 4th grade. I miss you.